Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Amherst County Service Authority Board meeting. Let the record reflect it is October 7th, 2025, and the time is 1:30. Our first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or any changes that need to be made?
No, sir.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, second, we have citizen comments. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close that.
And no one has signed up.
All right, no one has signed up. Next, we have the employee recognitions,
Yes.
2025. Mr. Castillo.
Yes, as part of our move to recognize our staff for the accomplishments, we've had several staff that had some service anniversaries in the 1-year recognition. Patrice Donegan Baker is been with us for a year. And then Seneca Haskins also has been with us for a year. And Seneca, during his tenure, has already improved his level of water licensure from a grade 3 to a grade 2, and is working on getting his grade 1 now. So that's good stuff there. We had 2 people actually started the same day in September. Graydon Vickery Pogger started on the 16th of September, and Richard Hall also started on 16th of September. So they've had 5 years with us, which is very good also. I do need to make the board aware that Richard, who normally sits here at this meeting, is not here today, as his father passed earlier this morning. It's been expected, just always a hard thing. So keep him in your prayers, if you would, please.
We'll certainly send him our thoughts and prayers, and that we're thinking about him, and also congratulations on all the employees. I wanted to say that the employees that work at the front office down in Madison Heights are always pleasant to deal with, and I enjoy going in there.
Oh, great. That's what we're doing.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Anything from the board?
Congratulations.
All right, next we will move on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding the consent agenda?
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda?
Motion on the floor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have the bid award authorization for the James River Bank stabilization. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Castillo.
Thank you. As we had to publish on Thursday, and having not received the bids until Friday, it's why the package was here and why you have an additional handout to you. We did receive bids on Friday afternoons. On October 3rd, we received 4 bids, 2 in person and 2 using EVA, the new system, which was a first for me. These bids were all read aloud. You have a bid tabulation where the engineer's estimate for this project was $2.6 million. And we had bids ranging from 2.4 down to 1.5. The recommendation is to award this contract for the James River Stream Bank Restoration Phase 2 to Stonewall Bridge Company. On their bid tab, they did provide the required bid bond, acknowledge the addendum, and they signed the bid, which is always a good thing. So we have that. And then I also, for my own clarification, provided for you a detail, because this is a unit price contract. If, depending on where things came within the budget for the project, we may extend it further or have to shorten the project, but we wanted to make sure we got something done. This project is within budget. We have the contract documents were approved by EPA. When they come back to work, we will turn this information over to them and make sure everything moves along in a favorable speed. But I will note that the current EPA project manager working on this project is excellent, extremely responsive, very helpful, making suggestions on how to make sure that we're not causing any red flags down the road with our projects. So I'd like to be authorized to proceed with a notice of award of this project.
Any comments or questions, board? I think it's pretty good news with what we have here, the information. So I'll go ahead and make the motion that the ACSA board authorize the executive director to proceed with the contract award per the consultant's recommendations. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, since we just voted on that, can I make a comment?
Certainly.
Being in this business, it matters with whom you do business, meaning I know certain engineers and I know certain companies that contractors will say, we're going to mark up our bid because we know that person or that company is very difficult to deal with. In this case, I happened to speak with the owner about a month ago. We were in a football pool together, so it was draft night, and he told me how much he enjoys working for the authority, how it's easy to do work with them, and he was going to bid this thing tight. So that's a direct, and they were the winning bidder, and so that's the direct comparison about how being a good business can really help drive prices down. So thank you, Mr. Castillo.
You're very welcome. And note that there was only about $100,000 difference between first and second bidder. So bids were really tight. I was pleasantly surprised. When I opened them up and pulled them out, as you always do with trepidation, reading the numbers, it was very favorable.
And it's also nice seeing that the engineer was not the low bidder.
And the engineer was not the low bidder which is not always the case.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, all valid points, yes. It's always easier to work with someone that you know is gonna work with you, so to speak. So that's definitely a point.
And this particular contractor did the phase one.
Right.
Okay, so they're familiar, that's
They're
even
familiar
better.
with it and how we try to do business. How I try to do business with all contractors.
All right, sounds good. Well, next we have your informational report.
Okay. Moving down through the infrastructure master plan. I've been working on I met with a couple of property owners to get the easements for Route 130, and that's been favorable conversations, so that project's moving forward. Working forward on getting our short-term needs at the water plant. The crew ordered a check valve that was on the list to be replaced. They ordered that this week to get that moving. Our application for the grant for a permanent generator at Williams Creek is moving forward. Was pleased to be able to add to that a letter of support from our county administrator and floodplain administrator, noting that by relocating the generator up the road, entering the pumping station, we were out of the flood hazard area, which makes FEMA very happy. So that's moving forward. Tomorrow I do have a meeting with the executive director of Florida Rural Water Association. I'm not going to Florida, don't. But when I was at the Water Pro conference, I was fortunate to sit next to some of their staff at a session called Know the Numbers, which I thought was a good session to sit in. And they actually provide for their membership a financial model to help them establish rates and all of that. So I'm meeting with the Florida to see if that model can be utilized here in Virginia and save us some considerable funds and still get what we need. So that's moving forward. With the water permit process, we did have a very productive meeting with Steve Nebeker of Western Hydrologics regarding our safe yields and all of that. He is a resource that we can rely upon should we need to. Everything I'm hearing, we're going to be getting the $3 million that we are requesting with use of the James River for emergency purposes only. But the DEQ has completed their model. Their staff is reviewing things now. So hopefully we will actually see something, but last thing I saw was January for the permit. So as long as it's continued, we are continued on our existing permit, we're okay. But Steve actually works with the person who does the DEQ model, so he understands how it functions and all of that, and how we can improve things should we need to. And I also put him in contact with the town of Amherst as they are doing battle with DEQ on their permit. So, I'm pleased to say that our GIS information on all of our meter locations is complete. It was not complete on Friday, it got completed this morning about 9:30, but it's still complete. So I'll be turning in the report to DEQ, I'm sorry, to VDH for that, and be refunded our remaining balance of over $40,000 on our principal forgiveness / loan for that project. So that's moving forward. I had nothing additional for the Gateway project. The contractor was supposed to start mobilizing. They got put off a week or so, looking for a leak for Campbell County Service Authority on Timberlake. They've completed that, so they're going to be moving on to our job. I did reach out to Seminole Properties and begin having some conversations with them about their issue. I've not had any information come back to me. I just shared with them what our projected cost was and what the projected engineering cost was. So they have that information. We've just dealt with the James River Stream Bank. Briarcliff Water Line Project is really beginning to move forward. After our last meeting, went back to all of the customers out there, the 11 customers had signed the petition with what the cost could be, and 9 of them have signed up for that project. And looking at doing it in-house, which went through it with my team, and we believe we can perform this work in-house this fall for them. We come up with a budget of $81,000 using the basic connection fees. We are at 50%, so we are going to be moving forward with that. I've submitted it, met with VDOT, described what we were trying to do, and asked if they needed formal plans for them to approve a permit. I was told no, so they have a quick sketch, and I'm waiting to get information back on that to get that permit moving forward. Because it's a pretty simple project. We're 3 feet off the edge of pavement, 3 feet deep. So it shouldn't be any issues there.
So their connection fees are gonna be $4,500?
Yep.
Per person?
Correct. And that covers 50% of the project cost for our program. And actually, I'm budgeting $35 for 8-inch water line. The one price quote I recently received is at 17. So I think we have room to add some rock for bedding with that, so we should be fine with the budget. Campbell Street project, the grinder pumps actually were delivered today for those connections, so we will commence getting those installed. And Hurt and Profit is working on the design for the Berkshire Place project. So that's moving forward as well. I did have conversations with the CVTC staff, and the documents that they are putting together for that are currently under review on the Office of Attorney General. And if that comes forward, I'll get to look at them. If I think it's a fair arrangement for us, I'll be bringing that information to the board. If I need to make some other adjustments, we will continue doing that, but that's moving at its snail's pace. The SCAD Advisory Committee, we actually did meet, and we started going down the road of line by line by line by line again, where everyone said we didn't want to go, and I raised the question, why are we doing this? there are industry standards. Can we refer to the industry standards and the regulations? And finally, everyone said yes. So that's where that is going. Reporting to you at Avalon Food Line Shopping Plaza, a 848 feet of water line was extended, including a new fire hydrant connection, and 16 individual metered connections. That structure was serviced off a 2-inch meter that went underneath the parking lot and went all through the buildings and was leaking like crazy. And so the owner, Rosmere Corporation, approached the authority asking if they could do the work to our standards, which we approved everything they did, and we inspected it as it was installed. And so we have 16 individual customers, where before it was just one commercial customer. So and the value of that infrastructure that's dedicated to the authorities, $227,000 will be going out to our books this current fiscal year. And then finally, or not finally, we had our kickoff meeting with our Operations Center Space Needs Project. Virginia A&E and Hurt and Profit met with us. We shared with them all of the exact measurements of the current spaces where we think we're going to need to grow for the future, particularly as we expand our customer base. And so they're working on their report to come up with what our current and future needs would be, so we can start planning an operations center appropriately. And then we did some sprucing up of our customer lobby. The flooring was coming apart, creating a potential trip fall hazard. So we put some new flooring down, painted the old wooden paneling, brightened it up, and it looks like someone cares.
Looks remarkably better.
That's great, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So we didn't spend, I think we may have spent $1,500 on the whole project, which I thought was a good investment, particularly with our safety hazard that was beginning to become a real problem. And then we have a number of development projects that we're working with various projects, Stratford Place and Elon Forest. We've had the pre-construction meetings from them. We are beginning to break ground on those 2 projects. Project Liberty is going full force, and we're working very closely with that contractor to make sure they have the necessary water to compact all the stone that they're bringing into the site. So it's been quite busy, but good busy. It's been a good busy.
So what about the project with the ARPA funds?
I'm waiting to get some information back on that. I don't have,
I saw that somebody had put some survey markers out along the road and was wondering if that was part of it.
okay, which road are we referring to? I'm sorry.
Hang on. Going past Old Webb Sporting Goods.
Okay, that's the Route 210.
Yeah, 210.
Yeah,
Yep.
that is the project number 3 of the Gateway project. And they've done the stakeout for that
Oh, I got you.
project, and they're mobilizing and hope to get started with that construction.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I would just like to commend you for when you were at the National Rural Water Conference, actually reaching out to someone that potentially can help and assist you. I think that was a good use of your time by going there and being able to make some connections. So kudos to you.
Well, there's a number of connections were made there, which are, I think, will help the authority in the future. I'm waiting to receive word whether we are going to be funded for our AMI project, as well as the Route 130 Waterline project from VDH. They're still going through their manipulations on that. If indeed we're not funded for the AMI, I attended a presentation where a lot of utilities, particularly out in the Plains area, are leasing their meters and funding it that way. If the numbers lease numbers and the additional revenue work, basically pays for itself, usually in about 10 years. So, that's one of the many things. It was a very good conference. The Water Jam Conference also was very good. I was able to meet with a number of vendors to get some equipment. We just received our very own sewer camera. It's a little push camera. Before, we would have to contract with someone to do that work. One of the vendors sold us a used controller with a used push rod and a brand spanking new camera head for under $5,000, which is a good price. And it will do an 8-inch line, which is most of what we have. We're trying to get the tools that our team needs to do the jobs.
Good. Well, yeah, I think that would be a good use of funds, because every time you have to hire a contractor, you're looking at a fee to come out and do the work, regardless of how little or big the potential job may be. So,
As you know, my firm is conflicted from doing work with the authority because I sit on the board. Great. So I'm offered to you to reach out to one of my colleagues who works in the Midwestern area, and if you've got questions about leasing versus purchasing, they may be a good resource. I believe you know some of the people with whom I speak.
I do.
From Water Jam, meeting at Water Jam.
Yep, I do.
But, yeah, so I invite you to do that if you'd like.
Serving on the board of directors for Virginia Rural Water, it's allowed me to go to various events and get different perspectives, share our perspectives, because we've had some successes, and learn from other people's successes and some other lessons learned.
well, thank you, Mr. Castillo. I see you've been busy, so we know your time is valuable, but thank you for all that you're working on and doing. Other than that, we have, let's see here, citizen comments. Is anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the citizen comments, and we'll go to matters from members of the board. Mr. Para?
Thank you. One item, Mr. Chairman. Just if you could provide an update, not necessarily now, but maybe the next meeting, which I guess is December, pending
Board of Supervisors.
pending the Board of Supervisors' decision. I was trying to read the financial numbers and was having difficulty figuring out the trends. When are we going to have the updated financial reports?
That is a very good question. With the changes that have been made within the finance department and where they are, I don't want to tell you something. One thing that we are doing as an in-house staff is we have the AR reports that we submit to county finance. We're going to be utilizing those. We have all the expenses, so we're going to try to come up with our own balance sheet using those two different sources of information.
Okay. Would you mind updating us again in December?
I hope to have a much better picture,
Thank you.
because that's actually going to hinder. We don't have a balance sheet for year end. The latest report that I was given was April. It did not include the May or June data. So we don't have a year-end balance. So it's hindering doing an annual audit. So, and the county staff are working very diligently to take care of things for county finances as well as ours.
Mr. Martin?
No, sir. Thank you.
I have nothing as well. With that, I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.